Hey there, guys and gals. Welcome back. I'm LJ. Are you ready to tinker and play? Well, today we got a fun one. This is a little short video, like a prelude to my next video that I'm wanting to make, which is that video is like an open chest on a like a dead surgery victim or a live surgery victim in a operating room, a horror scene that I'm going to have in my 2024 Halloween haunt. So this one right here, being that precursor, is actually a baking mold I found online, and I got it shipped to me, and I'm going to go ahead and make this baking mold heart out of this Loctite spray foam. We're going to see if this thing works, and it's got a whole bunch of nice grooves in there. Of the parts of the heart, the four chambers, the aorta, and the vessels and arteries that run out of and around the heart. And I'm hoping that some of those kind of show up so that I can paint them with these various acrylic paints that I have, and my DuraBlood here. But yeah, this is the first video of a few videos I'm going to do for that that open chest operating room, you know, medical scary room for our 2024 Halloween haunt. This is number one. If you want to see the other ones, go ahead and activate notifications. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, hit like on this video, and leave me some comments. Now let's get to going on this thing right here. And how we're going to start is by tearing this annoying thing off right here. Get rid of that. Now it's mine. We're going to take this water right here and we're going to spray it down inside this mold, because I don't want the Loctite spray foam to stick to my mold here, my plastic mold. I'm going to shake out some of the extra stuff. I don't want a lot of bubbles to be down in there, but I want it to be wet. And then I'm going to take my Loctite and I'm going to take it, shake it up, get it ready to go. And then I'm going to spray it in this thing in a way that it lines all the major pieces of this. But I'm not going to put too much in here. I just want to line this so I can actually come back and shape this thing. Now I have got enough in here that I want. I'm going to go ahead and take this water, spray it all around here, and I'm going to be very generous with this because I want this Loctite spray foam here to start making a skin on here. And I'm probably putting more than I need to, but I really want to make sure that I put a nice layer of water on there. Now I'm going to set this down right here, and I know it's going to puff up and all that, but hopefully it kind of squeezes into all those little pieces of the heart, the chambers, the vessels, and all that stuff. I hope it squeezes into there, kind of takes form of that. And if it doesn't, I'm hoping to be able to come back and just come back in here and push it into that and force it to take on that form while it dries. But before I do that, I've got to let this Loctite spray foam get a skin on it made by that water. So I'm going to give this about 5 to 10 minutes, no more than 8 to 10 minutes to cure that skin. So let's set it down here and we'll be back to check it out. Well, we're back. It's been close to 10 minutes. I'm going to touch this and see if it's got that skin on there and it's not coming off on my fingers. And it's not. It's still pretty wet. It's still very moldable. That's the great thing. That's what I want. So I'm going to be very careful as I push this down. And as I'm pushing it down, I know some of the inside wetness of that Loctite is going to maybe kind of pop out a little bit, but I've got a lot of water in there, and it's going to actually touch that Loctite spray foam that comes out. It's going to touch that first, and it's going to kind of actually help make a little protective barrier so my hands aren't getting that stuff on there. I have made plenty of this stuff, molds and other things with this Loctite spray foam, to know that, man, once that stuff gets on your hand, it's really sticky. But as I've just been talking to you here, you can see that it's really nicely molding down flat to this mold. I'm going to pour out a little bit of that water. That's a lot of water. Now that I've got it kind of flat, I don't need as much of that water. So I'm going to just kind of check my progress as I'm pushing this up against the wall of this mold. you can do that. You can see that there, and you can kind of see, if I don't know if you can see that, but the water kind of moves as you push the mold in. So I'm just going to try to push some of that water out of some of those areas I really want to have, like those vessels show and the artery show. And I'm hoping that I'll get it to look really, really awesome, really nice, like a one-to-one human heart here that I can paint and make it look awesome. I see I flattened it down pretty good. I'm just working it in there, and once I find that I've got it where I want it, which I think I do, I've got it in a lot of those vessels. And you know, at least if I get a little bit of tracing of where those vessels are, I can come with this blue paint and paint those vessels. Yeah, but I think I've got it where I want it. Just like that, it's shaped around there. Now all I've got to do is give this time to dry completely so I can pull it off this mold and actually see what it looks like, make sure it comes out, and then start painting it. So I'm going to give this a good 15 to 20 minutes to dry here. All right, it's been 15 or 20 minutes. Now let's see if this thing will peel out of here. You know, we got all the other work done. Now the big thing is, will it peel out of here? If it does not peel out of here, well then, you know, this method sucks, but I think it'll work. All right, it looks like it, you know, captured all those spots in there. I can hear it separating. I'm just gonna go around the top. I don't want to rip this thing, but you can hear it separating. You know, sort of like this, the silicone mold. It's separating. Oh, look at that. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised at how nice that looks. It almost has like a glossy look to it. Look at that. It's got the aorta running off there. It's got all the vessels running off of that heart. It's also got a lot of the outlines. It captured a lot of the outlines of those vessels that are on the heart, which is going to make it so easy for me to paint. And it's still kind of bendable and moldable right now. So before I paint it, I'm gonna let it dry off, or dry a little bit off and let it dry completely. And then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna paint this. The key is to keep working it as it dries. The longer you can work it as it dries, the better. And so I really worked it for another 5 to 8 minutes after I shut the camera off, because I really wanted to fill in those spots. This piece is cool, so I'm gonna let it sit here and dry a little bit, harden just a little bit more, maybe just a few more minutes. I'm gonna dry this sucker off, and then we're gonna get to painting it. All right, this thing is all ready to paint, except for I gotta cut this extra stuff off here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, I've got that thing looking about how I want it to be. I want it to be like flat on the back side right there. And I want it, when it lays inside the chest, I want it to just lay flat just like that, with all the heart in its glory and its painted, full painted glory. So let's go ahead and paint this. Now before we do, I want you to know that it's always nice to have like a little reference beside you. So I got my little girl's tablet here, iPad or whatever this thing is, tablet. And I got me a picture of a heart there. And I want to just kind of follow some of the basics of that, make it some red and then some dark spots, and then take that blue, tone it down a little bit, make it more look like a light, really, really light, almost white blue, and hit some of these arteries and vessels up here and some of the vessels that are across here. So I need my red paint to do that. Get me a big old bunch of that and just come on here and just start painting that. There we go, we got that. Yeah, that's pretty easy, wasn't it? So I got that light red on there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paint the vessels on the heart in here, get them painted up a little bit, and then maybe come over this with a little bit of some blackish red, really dark red over top of some of this, just to kind of give it some character. Got my blue here. This is like my blue with like a little bit of a cobalt hue to it. Don't need a lot because there's only a little bit that I'm going to be painting. But if you take that blue and get yourself a paintbrush here, a little smaller paintbrush, and kind of make it a nice fine point, when you put that blue on top of that red, it makes almost like a purplish look, which is what we're looking for when we're talking about the vessels surrounding the heart. There's all the vessels I'm going to do on the outside of that heart. Doesn't look too bad, does it? So there's the vessels I got on the heart there. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint these bigger arteries and everything up here. All right, I think I got my color here, so I'm going to go ahead and start painting these vessels this color. All right, so there's my background color. Now I'm going to do almost pure white and kind of hit the vessels and make them more narrower, have that darker, like that pinkish, or not pinkish, purple-ish color still stay around the edge, and I'm going to come back and hit with a little bit of dark. Don't substitute quality for speed. All right, see how that white paint right there gives those arteries a little bit of highlight. Now I'm going to come in on the edges, make those a little bit darker, that little darker color, and just kind of go around the edges here and just kind of create that the shape form of that vessel. Make that vessel look a little bit 3D. Fill in that area right there, some shadow. Alternate darks and lights, and the lighter stuff will stand out. Neat little trick is, before it dries, come back with a dry, clean brush and fade it all in together. Just blend it all in together straight back. You don't want to mix it like that. You want to just straight back to blur the lines so you really can't see where one color ends or one color starts. There you go, sort of like that. Just kind of, just gives you the feel of where those vessels are, those dark spots where there's recesses and depth and 3D-ness to those bigger vessels right there. Now you can do the same thing on the bottom part of the heart as well. You can take that red that you had and put a little bit of black in there, and you can darken that up and make some little recessed areas in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then we'll finish it off with this this glossy finish acrylic sealer here. All right, let's make some of those recessed areas with this black and red. All right, guys and gals, here is that finished heart. Before I put the gloss on it, the gloss acrylic sealer, which I'll put after it completely dries. I'm gonna put that on. That's the last part, but this is basically it. I add a little bit of darker spots on this heart with that black mixing with that red. Then came back over the vessels with a little bit more brighter blue, so they'll stand out a little bit more. There's some purplish spots in there. It'll dry and look a little bit purplish as well. Looks pretty good to me. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Go ahead and hit like on this video. Activate notifications on this channel after you subscribe. I would love to have you on board as a subscriber. This has been a fun little project here. Now this thing's going to go in my next video in this series, which is that chest. I'm going to make like a cadaver chest or a operation patient chest and operation patient in my medical haunt, in the 2024 Halloween haunt. And that next video I'm going to put this in there with a bunch of other stuff. We're going to make some ribs and maybe little portions of the lungs and other, parts that you're going to see in that open chest. And then we're going to put this in there and see what it looks like. So make sure you activate notifications so you don't miss out on that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm LJ. Have a wonderful day and always find time to tinker and play.